for nerds by nerds. And today we're going to be playing some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And I got the full. Most of us are here tonight. We can't seem to get us all here. It's like a rare occurrence of getting all the stars and the moons and suns aligned. But with that, we're going to jump into some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. If you want to do the recap, or let's start with introductions and then we'll go into the recap.
Okay.
Yes, hi. I'm Megan R. Miller. I have books available on Amazon.com for purchase. I will be playing Kenna Hollythorn, Halfling Bard of Valor with a dip in Rogue.
Hi, I'm Jen from PixelScapes.com. I'm a monster artist, and I'm playing Deneen, a Wood Elf Rogue with a bit of cleric.
Hi, I'm Jean. I'm playing Kath. She is a paladin of the Beggar King. And a tiefling, yeah.
Hi, I'm Ellie with BeholdHer Gaming. I'm playing Haley Fallendane, a human cleric of Quinthal.
You beat Boot and you Carl.
All right. Recap. On our last episode of Scarlet Sisterhood, they started with 6 weeks of downtime. Kenna making jewelry, Haley investigating the church, and still not finding anything, Agnetha working with the city guard, Deneen with her family, and Kath trying to set up Vance and Haley. Kath is also secretly corrupting Deneen's daughter Fane during babysitting. Then Kenna teleported us to Drellic. She'll join us later. You see, Drellic is where Deneen's apparently evil in-laws are. And the locals also... Oh, and our DM is dying. It's very tragic. And the locals also think Haley burned down the Church of Quinthal there, so Haley needed a disguise. She also claimed that she was writing a book, Churches and You. Cyroon from Rylor and his gang are apparently in town too. Weirdly, we found that the burned church hasn't been rebuilt because the locals say it's haunted. The altar and the stained glass window are still pristine. When we were checking out the church, an undead robed figure pulled himself up through the floor. Now let's find out what happens next.
Thank you, and sorry about that as I choke on my coffee.
I felt bad for you.
It's all right. I don't think it was your fault. So, and Megan, if you thought it was bad for you having to know who goes first, it's even worse for Sam. Because she forgets the order because you weren't here last week. She was the first one for a change. She's the oldest.
She was here before I was.
I know. She's the oldest of the alumni. So, where we left off was this hooded robed figure wrapped in bandages had just pulled himself out of this pool of moonlight as if it was a pond. And, looking up at Haley, begins to speak in her raspy voice. I've been waiting for you, child.
Do you know this guy?
Does she know him? Know what she's seeing at all?
No, his features are obscured by a combination of bandages, cloaks, and just the fact that the flesh itself looks so desiccated.
Okay.
His eyes glow with a light blue radiance to them. His flesh is also, and robes and even the bandages almost have like a silvery hue to them due to the moonlight pouring through that stained glass window above from the moonless night.
So I have divine sense up. What is it?
Oh, it's absolutely undead. Clearly, this is an undead creature.
I
Don't trust it.
You talk to him.
Too long. Do I know you?
He continues to pull himself out.
Oh boy.
Yes, once I believe we have met. Our ways have crossed. The name you would have known me by, though, has long since left me. All that is left is duty.
Were you
What?
a member of the church here when I was a acolyte?
Yes, one of the elders.
Ugh.
Is this one of the ones that Quintel got mad at?
Undead, Haley, undead.
You have found the gifts that the lady has left for you.
Wow, the stuff in my bag.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little light looting, buddy. Let's be clear about that.
Oh no, I gotta get this.
The creature turns and looks towards Zanine or through her. It kind of feels like no one said anything about looting. Child
Right,
of a leader,
right,
even.
right. Like you said, they're gifts from Quintel. Right, so there's nothing to worry about.
There is not for now. This place is safe.
It does safe from what?
From the past, from the present, perhaps the future.
So,
You are chosen by the lady.
and apparently you were chosen to what, guard and protect this place for your crimes against the church?
I must fulfill duty. The night that the church burned, the lady came to us all the elders, all of us that succumbed to corruption and greed and pettiness, and showed us the error of our ways and our dreams. We were all given a chance to repent. So now, for eternity, I serve the lady, and I shall fulfill my duty.
And that is?
For now, she has put me to the task of guarding this holy place of hers and keeping out that which destroyed it.
The fire, was it from the outside, or was that her doing?
The lady has taken back which was hers, and she has cast out the heretics.
So she cleansed the church with fire.
She did. They still claim her name, but in time they will be punished for their crimes.
Yeah, they rebuilt. And they're even more opulent than they were before.
It is the way of mortals.
Is there a noble house that's been involved in their rebuilding?
He starts making this chuffing sound, and his head bobs slightly, as does his chest, and it takes a moment to realize that he's laughing.
Oh.
Okay. The elders of the church were as rich and powerful as any of the nobility in this city, some more so. But I am here to inform you, it is not for you to worry about that. You've been set upon a path that is good and noble, and the lady approves.
Does the lady have any information for any place she would like me to investigate other than the church in this town? Which I will happily single-handedly take down myself.
It is not necessary. The lady is the guardian and keeper of knowledge and secrets, which they will be revealed when the time is right. For now, follow your heart and spread the word of Quintel. There is nothing more that is required of you, child.
I have a question.
You may ask.
Since you are now the keeper of this sacred ground and also a conduit to the lady's knowledge, could you tell us how we can get in to help or to capture somebody in the city?
Ooh.
What is it you seek?
Access.
And an exit, hopefully.
And an exit.
Let's be specific about the kind of knowledge that might help.
as for an exit, that's easy enough. And he kind of begins swirling his hand over the pond. And a halfling comes hurtling out of the moonlight. And Kenna, you find yourself unceremoniously dumped in front of most of your companions. With a pool of moonlight before you that's streaming through this stained glass window from above. The building you're in has no roof, and you see no moon.
And it's all burned. Kenna, don't worry about the undead guy. We did not burn this church, I swear.
No, we didn't.
I believe you. How would you have done it?
Fire.
I never mind.
So I didn't do that. Hi.
So, Kenna, what were you in the middle of doing when you were thrust through the portal?
I was making dinner and some special brownies.
Are you wearing a frilly apron?
Yes.
Your gear is all in a pile next to you, and you have a skillet in hand and spatula.
Well, I'd start getting my stuff together and like hooking the spatula and the skillet to my gear. I'm gonna hit somebody with that before the session's over.
Is your fire still going at home?
Oh.
The Vardo's not gonna like burn down, is it?
Well, I keep a bucket of water next to it just in case things happen, and I'm sure Monty knows to knock it over by now, so.
Especially if she just disappeared.
Also, the kids are home.
It'll burn out.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Angus has a little bit of self-control and like common sense, I think.
Thank you,
Elder. There's
Elder.
your way home.
Thank you, Elder and Protector of this church. I was actually looking to get access to Denine's father-in-law.
That would be Lord Summerstar.
But thank you for bringing Kenna. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was very nice of you, too.
So she's the exit? Oh, right, of course. Because of the whole teleporting. Woo!
I actually thought you might have been like an evil liar, but you know, anyone who can get Kenna here, that's good. I'm fine now.
We're actually looking for a way to get to Lord Summerstar's and through his
and kidnap him. For good cause.
For good reason.
Yep.
To break a blood pact.
I'm afraid I cannot do much more. That one is marked by another.
Ooh.
Well,
thank
you very much, sir.
Do you know who that blood pact or whom or what entity that blood pact is with?
We have a name and stuff. We've actually Janine starts flipping through her notes.
It's good for confirmation though.
The land of Fairy lays claim to that one.
Well, thank you. And praise Quinthal.
The basin you have, you can use it to generate, to create and consecrate water. It will make. Sorry, I'm doing conversions.
5 pints.
Whatever 10 vials of holy water a week is.
Sweet.
See, I just assume Quinthel uses metric.
Yeah.
She's such a metric girl. That makes sense.
Liquid ounces. 5 liquid ounces per. And I would keep those vestments handy if I was you. And, with that, he just begins to sink back into that pool.
Thanks for the ride.
Thanks.
You just said. Hey, boss. I know this guy works for Quinthal, but that was pretty cool. So, I don't know. Tell him good job or something, through the God grapevine thing, please.
Sorry, I couldn't get us a way in.
Actually, Haley, it was really nice of you to even ask. There were a lot of things you could have asked right there. And that was very unselfish, so thank you.
Haley like blushes. Kind of kicks her feet.
So, Agnetha has kind of slunk off when you guys weren't paying attention.
I was here and I missed it.
Oh, Kenna.
Yes.
Kenna, there's this liquor.
Oh,
It's
you have my attention.
It's lightning. It's lightning
lightning.
bolts made liquid into liquor.
What?
It's
What?
amazing.
Okay,
I promised I would save some for you.
good.
Wait,
But I guess
what?
that was probably not the appropriate time to be getting blasted.
You said that it was all gone.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's all gone. That's what I meant.
Hey, I mean, if she only saved enough for me, she saved a very little bit. See, it's okay if I do it.
She's probably just wary of the $75 tab we
I
encouraged him to
I just didn't want to make you jealous, Gene. Calf, whatever your name is.
Oh dear.
So, what are you guys up to?
Well, we came here to investigate the church, but I guess we've done that. You're muted, Haley. I guess we've done that. So, is there more you want to do here, Haley? You picked up these candles. You've got the vestments, the fancy bowl.
I definitely want to look at these vestibule, all the stuff that I've picked up, but I'll do that when we're in a safer place. I won't do it here. I feel relieved to know that, well, not relieved, I guess. I knew that there would be no way that church would get rebuilt without it being under some sort of scrutiny. So I'm glad.
It sounds like it's part of some larger plan of Quintel's.
And
he
one
said
I'm not allowed to, I guess, be invested in. So.
Or that
Well,
you
he
don't
didn't
have
say
to
you
be
weren't allowed.
obligated. That doesn't mean we can't if you're interested in doing that.
No, I trust in her. I was told that I was on the right path, so I think the right path is to get this Lord Summerstar.
Summer butts. Sorry, I'm just excited. I might have been dipping into the brownies a little bit.
Got a little bit Tourette, but it's all
You
good.
got a little chocolate on your face there, Kenna.
Yeah. So, where are we going?
Well, I mean, all right, let's see. So I guess we could go back to the rooms we rented, since this is like the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, you guys have kind of went ghost hunting. Yeah.
Cool, I'm staying with Kath tonight.
So we could go back there and chat and drink lightning.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking that shit.
I'm not even.
drinking. I shouldn't say that.
I'm like subtly getting my pipe out and giving Kath this
Nothing
like
does health
odd
damage.
face.
So we head back across the street to the let's see.
Back to the Spyglass Inn?
The Spyglass Inn, yes.
Ooh,
Exactly.
I like the name of this place.
With the proprietor.
Just
Proprietor is Glavis Brewhammer.
Dwarven?
Yes.
Yes, she is.
Oh, good. I gotta meet this lady before we go then.
So
She wants to be in the book that Haley is writing. Supposedly.
Really? You're writing a book?
Yeah, it's called Churches and You. I'm not a great liar. That was
Oh no, now we have to actually do it. I've got plenty of paper. You can dictate and I'll write it down for you. I have excellent penmanship.
That'd be so amazing.
Good. Good. This is something that is now on our to-do
While I'm
list.
trying to uncover the corruptions of these churches, I can use that as my disguise.
Churches in You, subtitle, How to Make Sure Yours Isn't Utterly Corrupted from the Inside and Needs to Be Cleansed with Limitless Fire.
That's a pretty excellent subtitle, yes.
And as we walk away from the church, I stopped using thaumaturgy to cast whispers out of my EMF detector.
That was pretty creepy.
Well done. So, and the first thing that greets you on your way back to the spyglass is the noise of the tavern, and you see the light streaming out of the windows. The noise will get louder and then quiet as someone enters the main tavern. As you guys come in, you can see Glavis Brewhammer. It's hard work serving drinks behind the bar, serving men and women or making their way through the crowds that's bustling in here. And when Glavis sees your entourage come in, she kind of waves over at you in greeting.
Glavis!
So I take it, are you calling out or approaching?
Just calling out.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and make sure they don't go to the bar.
Okay. So you're fairly certain that, your words probably do not reach the bar. It is kind of ruckus and loud. And
there was a wave. That's enough.
There's a jug band playing in the corner.
Let's go upstairs for a private talk.
Okay.
I will get the wine and meet you there. What room is it?
I've already got it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I tell you the rooms. Denise is very eager to hustle you all upstairs for some reason.
All right. So I guess we go upstairs. If
Let's
Denise wigged out, then that means there's something going on. I trust her.
So Deneen was staying in a room with Haley, but let's all pile into one room.
Into Kath's room in particular.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Party room.
Okay. And she starts unloading her bag with the expensive booze that she conned last night. And she's lining that up. And she says, here's the deal.
Yes.
Last night, I may have snuck down there after the party and pretended I was placing a big pricey order for the Summer Stars. And I may have taken this with me as the first part of the order, which is why I don't want her to know we have it. So here you go.
Oh, that's okay. Mischief managed. I take a shot. So, what's the plan?
Oh, she takes a shot?
You take a shot at blue lightning?
Before Deneen can say anything.
She just popped that sucker back.
Now remember, Deneen doesn't know what this stuff really does. She just knows Kath liked it.
So,
Okay,
Kath sees you reaching for the glass and she just goes.
No, I just straight up do it. I'm not even being.
Give me a con save.
Con save. All right.
Deneen has no idea.
Oh, come on. There we go. Whiz dice. Let's see. 12.
Nice. Okay. Well, you are off into the races. So you're going to have a very good night. So what the rest of you trying to do right now and try and get Kenna to do?
Haley's taking out the stuff from her bag now and like, really looking at it. I don't know if I have anything I can really cast on it or do anything to.
I could.
Would you like some assistance?
Yeah, you do it.
Anything that I can see what this is. Special stuff, apparently.
The vestments is like a stow or like a scarf kind of thing. If you can examine it, you feel that connection that you feel with other powerful magic items you may have encountered, where you can basically attune to it or not, your choice.
I'm drawing Kath.
Yeah, I mean, she wants to wear it. It said it's a scarf.
Yeah, it's like a scarf, and it's got the holy symbols.
Oh yeah, that's getting put on. I don't care what
on it.
Matches.
It's like embroidered. So when you put it on and you attune to it, little beads kind of like appear on it.
Like water beads?
No, almost like beading.
Okay.
Roll a die 4.
2.
Okay, so 3 of them kind of appear in a row across above the holy symbol, and they weren't there before. They kind of just like pushed themselves up through the cloth.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Well, can I probably can I even see that? Does someone else see it? Because I have it on. I don't know.
Yeah, you actually feel it.
Oh, you feel it?
Yes, through your connection to it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So.
Are they like buttons?
Yeah, I want to feel them.
Push?
I want to touch them with my hands.
So it feels like it'll pull away.
All right. So I pick it.
No, don't do that.
Oh.
She's totally
Too
done
late.
that.
I pick it out. Wow, Jen. Or my cat, like, don't pick it out.
Is that supposed to come off, Haley?
It seemed like it was.
So
That's probably like a spell thing or a potion. I think Candace had one of those before where it had like little orange things that she pulled off and it like lightninged or fired something or other like that. It might have a thing. And I put my little Eye of Minute Scene monocle over my eye and I get all up in Haley's grill and check it out.
Deneen, meanwhile, ever so casually sidles to the furthest corner of the room.
Not explode.
So roll a d20 for me.
Oh no.
Who?
Me, 7.
7. Okay, so you can sense the magic. You can sense the magic inside of this bead, and you with the merest of thoughts, you realize you'd be able to release the magic from the bead, aka a bonus action, to cast it, and you inherently know that the bead that you've pulled away is a bead of curing, and you'd be able to cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level or lesser restoration from this bead.
Can anyone do that, or is it just attuned to me to do that?
It is attuned for you.
Oh, okay. This heals people. It's really small, though. I don't know where I can put it where I won't drop it.
Maybe
Stick it back in the thing.
Oh, does it like actually go back like a Velcro
No,
piece?
it will not. It will not go back in. Good idea, though.
So small.
Well, and when you pull it out, it's a full bead. So
I have a little pouch. I'll put it in my pouch that's on my belt.
okay.
I want to pull the other ones really bad.
well, just touch them and see if you can tell what they are.
That's a good idea. Because I don't want them to come off.
Okay, roll a d20.
Okay. 19.
A 19 is a bead of summons.
Okay, so I got a bead of summons and a bead of healing so far here.
So what you're telling me is, at least so far, it's not anything explodey like Kath was saying.
Not yet.
Not
yet. Hang on. Let me see if this other one does before I pull it off too.
I send wisdom off to her pocket dimension just in case.
The last one, Dave. She's tuning to it.
Okay. Same thing. Roll a d20.
1.
A 1. It is a bead of blessing.
Man, these all do good shit, even though my rolls weren't that great. All right, this is cool. So far, they just do cool things. Like the one does healing, the one does a summons of some kind, and the other is a blessing.
Well, I wonder if they're all like wasted now.
It doesn't seem
I am.
like they're still in there.
So, Kenna is, you are blitzed out of your mind.
I'm singing a body drinking song.
Okay, the word blitzed in relation to lightning
Yes,
drink is
great.
perfect. That's
Fantastic.
pretty hilarious there.
Spot on.
There once was a man from Rylor.
A++.
So, what else is everyone else doing? Kenna is getting rowdy and singing loudly.
Once I'm sure Haley's not exploding, I'll come back over and sit with her.
Okay. Everything's fine.
It's nothing personal, but you know.
I understand. I don't know anything about anything, and then I play with stuff.
And what else did you grab? This bowl and
That's
some
what she said.
This bowl and some candles?
Oh yeah, the bowl it purifies water into making holy water.
Yeah, the candles and bowl are a set.
Oh. Well, that's cool.
So at no cost, you can create holy water once a week, 10 vials.
Ooh.
Hey, Haley, this may surprise you because I am, of course, a fellow cleric, but I don't know what a holy water does. What is that? Does that explode?
I don't know what it does either.
Okay, I feel better now. I mean, it says it's holy, so it's probably something good.
Probably good something for
It's got, maybe drink some. Maybe it's really good.
No, I have an answer for this, guys. I know what it does. It puts holes in things.
Really? That's pretty awesome, actually. I wonder if I could like dip my arrows in that.
Although I kind of feel like Hallie would know what holy water was because you were an acolyte in the church.
Oh, that's true. I'm not
Kat
that
is there, and she's
not
like,
that dumb.
you chuck it at undead, and it does damage to them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
We should get like vials and just fill these suckers up.
The inflies are trying to get at my beverage.
That's actually really handy because typically it takes like an hour to make that stuff, and you have to have a bunch of powdered silver to make it.
Yeah, the first infly that attempts to get at your beverage, actually, as it gets close to it, kind of a little spark of lightning like jolts off of it and fries it.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah. What's that about?
I don't know, but it was awesome.
I use thaumaturgy to make Megan's drink talk to her.
What?
Sound like the lightning drink is whispering at her.
Does it do that?
What are you trying to say to me? It's like you're trying to communicate with me. I know it.
Little sparks and colored lights flicker out of it.
Oh, it does do that. Very nice. Deneen is hereby amused. I like it that everyone in the room can cast thaumaturgy except Kenna. That's kind of awesome.
She's got her own thing, I'm pretty sure.
I got prestidigitation.
That's true. I like that better. No offense, boss.
So, yeah. So Kenna, probably the downstairs you can kind of like there's a low like thrumming in the floorboards as you can feel the noise and ruckus and music from
Guys,
down below.
I got to join that party.
You're not taking this stuff with you though.
No, I'm not taking this.
Don't mention it.
I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need anything else right now. I'm gonna go join that party, and I will see you guys. And I grabbed my loot, and they just kind of like,
oh boy,
sideways out of the room.
Well,
and I'm gonna start a drinking song downstairs now.
I mean, I was gonna try and be productive and start developing a plan to.
You're still hungover from your party last night, Kat.
The dog.
Deneen
hangovers.
Deneen is using her mom voice at this point.
I mean, we probably shouldn't let Kenna go alone.
Then I'll go downstairs.
I peek my head back in, and I'm like,
well, if you're downstairs, I can't.
Drinking or the hangover will go away.
If you're downstairs, Deneen, I can't plan with you, so I might as well go downstairs.
Okay, look. Why don't we plan what we're doing tomorrow? How about that?
Party.
The longer we're here, the more likely it is that someone's going to recognize Haley, or one of these Ryler people is going to recognize me since I can't wear my disguise.
You looked like yourself when you were in Ryler?
Not for the last century or so, but maybe there's some older people here. We don't know.
I think you should look like Sheena. Sheena's really hot.
But
noted.
Okay, but sweetie, right now she's hiding Ellie because Ellie might have clerics after her.
Oh, by the way,
you haven't noticed
Haley has hair? Like red curly hair right now. By the way.
It looks like yours.
I boing it.
So, like Haley's disguise would have to go away.
Right.
Right. Oh, Oh, we could disguise you with normal means. I can do that. I'm proficient with that.
Oh, I don't think right now is a good time for that, though.
Oh, but why not?
Well, sure it is.
She's already disguised.
I'm okay.
You, the
I'm okay.
mean.
Oh.
Well, but that's all. Not to. Okay.
No.
I know you want to go downstairs and party, but we've already been here for a whole day, and although scoring all this sweet, holy loot from Quinthel is amazing, sooner or later we should probably do the thing that we came to town to do. So,
In the middle of the night, though.
but we gotta plan it
In the morning.
when you're
And I can't
totally
plan
hungover.
I can't plan right now anyway. All of my ideas involve
Okay.
elephants.
That's
and
true.
I don't think we have one of those.
I need the smart people sober for this. Okay. I don't know. Dear grown-ups, do what you want.
I hug you.
But Denise's actually like really frustrated because
I promise you I'll be helpful
like-
in the morning, but for right now I'm gonna go party with the frat house downstairs.
Okay.
To be fair, she didn't get to play last night, and she did just get sucked here without, any
Yeah.
kind of warning or planning. So
just
I didn't think
There-
that lightning was gonna hit me so hard.
Deneen is clearly regretting saving the stuff for Kenna. She says, well, it's not up to me. I'm just anxious. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Every time we've had to deal with this guy, we've had our asses handed to us. And even when I was just trying to find information, we got almost killed. And now we're here to actually like finish that fight, hopefully. And I'm worried about it. That's it.
So here, Kenna, you go party, and then Janine, why don't we just we'll stay here and we'll clarify what specifically you want, and then when Ken is sober in the morning, we'll talk about how to go about it and get the things that you want. Because clearly there's like a very easy objective. Well, we need to get your father-in-law, but I think we mentioned a secondary objective, possibly kill his wife while we're at it. Is there any other kind of information or anything like that you want from his house while we're here? Do you want to like get after his business while you're here? I mean, anything more beyond the Gold Elf Act that you went? So let's identify what our key objectives are.
And Haley has already heard like the basic scoop about what's going on, but I'm not sure how much of this she knows about. So maybe
that's the very basics that,
okay.
That there's a pact. I didn't even know who it was with, so I didn't even know what the name of the.
Okay. So the short version is that my father-in-law, Lord Summerstar, has some kind of pact with an archfey of the Winter Court.
Now that I didn't know. Okay, archfey of the Winter Court.
And my bow has something to do with that.
Oh, wow.
Because my husband stole it from his dad, maybe? I never bothered asking exactly how he got it, but somehow my husband's soul is tied to this bow. And he's my father-in-law is an elf. He's been marrying this series of human women. Mm-hmm. We don't know what happened to all his previous firstborn children. But we think this has something to do with firstborn children. And that's my husband and now my daughter.
Oh, no.
So that's why I have some concerns here. So there's something about this deal that has, from what we've heard, it sounds like maybe my father-in-law has broken the deal somehow, and therefore he's only safe when he's inside a city.
So that's what
So what we're hoping to do is kidnap him and take him back to the archfey that he has this deal with, so I can hopefully renegotiate it.
So that's
using him as leverage.
The undead. That's what the elder meant when he said that his soul was already
right.
Something
right.
Else.
And as for my mother-in-law, this human woman, she I don't know how in on that she is, but either way, she's never really liked the fact that I dared to marry her precious noble son. And she tried to frame me to get murdered last time I was in my hometown. So that's not good. That I wasn't thrilled about that.
Well, yeah, we all have problems with our families.
So I'm not particularly concerned if she gets in my way. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And meanwhile, supposedly, some of the Fae think that Deneen took something from the Feywild that she shouldn't have the last time that we were there. I don't know that we've ever worked out what it is that you did that annoyed them.
Didn't we figure it must have been the
ladders?
letter? It must have been the letter.
Yeah. So that's our best guess, that it was these letters that some of the Elfie people there gave to Deneen to deliver to people in this realm.
Well, one of the
But we're not
letters
sure.
one of the letters was to get delivered to Vance's family in Carshapathium. So
Right.
that had something to do with them, and it's about I read the letter. It has something to do with like renewing old ties between the Eladrin or maybe the Fae court and the elves that are in Carshapathium.
Which he did tell us a little bit, that military guy, who was not half bad from what I can tell, which was really
And
not
then-
much at all.
The other letter was just for me, and it was information about that archfey of the Winter Court.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Either way, I don't have anything to return to them.
Okay. So, key objectives. Get father-in-law out.
Right.
Do we care if he's alive or dead?
I'm assuming he has to be alive unless we can bring him back without his consent.
We should gag him with his underwear.
I would. Oh, Kenna, you're still here.
Yeah, no, I
would be.
You said
We got
quiet.
We got into story time, and I guess that attracted Kenna into staying, at least
Well,
for the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after we finish planning. And
Oh,
then
okay. Got it.
I'll go party after we're done.
Okay. So the thing is, though, let's say we successfully kidnap him from his estate.
Mm-hmm.
There's still this thing about how it's a problem if he's outside a city. So thankfully, Kenna knows how to teleport, and we don't have to go cross country with him.
Yes.
Well, but I thought, now this is good why we're talking about it. I thought that the goal was to get him out of the city and see what happened.
Because we're going to take him back to the Feywild. Oh, you mean take him out of the city and see if something comes after him?
Yeah.
Oh, what if, because he must be afraid of leaving the city, right? And traveling. What if we use that to try and basically threaten him into giving us information after we've captured him?
So,
like, we'll just leave you in these bushes then, unless you tell us something that we believe.
Are we going to believe anything that he tells us, though?
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
So, do we give him a chance to tell us things, which if we did, he could talk, and I could try and make it so he can't lie, but that's not always 100% effective. But that doesn't mean that he couldn't, attempt to lie or be honest and still manipulate us. So do you want to risk communicating with him, or should we just keep him like super shut up and unable to make any? We should probably like bind his hands and stuff like that, just in case he can do.
Oh yeah, well we've got the manacles.
I have my oven mitts with me.
And the oven mitts.
Over the oven mitts.
Exactly. See, I'm assuming that if we get him and he realizes he can't escape, that he'll have some like ridiculous story about how, oh, it's all a misunderstanding. I'm really doing this for the good of my children, and I'm totally innocent in this. And the fact that I've repeatedly tried to murder you is not relevant. So Haley, don't believe him.
I would not believe him.
So
Just
wait
saying.
a second
Sounds
though.
like a terrible.
Because he did try to murder us when we hadn't like attacked him or anything. And then,
I grab Haley by the shoulders and get right up in her face, and I said, "His are the eyes of a liar."
Yeah.
And then I get out of her face.
Yeah.
So
just FYI.
Okay.
So let's make a decision. Are we going to let him talk? And if so, I'm assuming I'll try and cast Zone of Truth. But if
He might be able to do some kind of magic. Maybe talking is bad for people that can do magic.
Gag order.
All right, so we're not going to give him a chance to talk at all. We're going to grab him. And are we teleporting directly back to a different place, or are we just going to get him outside the city? Maybe teleport him somewhere outside the city.
We could go straight to the grove where Gertrude is. The tree that is the portal to the Feywild.
Yes. Oh, is that guy a druid? No, I already asked him about polymorph and he couldn't do it. He's useless. Never mind. Sorry. Apologize for the tangent. So
No, you asked him about true polymorph. That is way different.
Well, that's the kind that sticks, right?
That's the kind that sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not interested in any short-term stuff unless my wife is here.
So okay, so I don't have any actual plan for like how to kidnap him. We know about his business contacts. We know about some of that stuff. Like, do we want to lure him out of his house?
So why don't we scout the area around his house tomorrow, first thing, and then that will tell us, and maybe through that we'll find some other place that we want to investigate next. But if not, so maybe house first, maybe check out, question some of his people at the docks about his expected movements or things like that, if we can't find out any information, and we'll go from there as to what we think is the best way to grab him. Seem reasonable?
Sure. And I can even send Wisdom over as like our initial spy.
I could get Arun to do the same thing.
Arun's a little recognizable, maybe.
But he doesn't have to be in the rock, though. He can be other things.
Oh, well, then maybe that would work. And Wisdom, he probably knows what Wisdom looks like at this point. I could change her, too. Into something else. Or a different kind of owl. Or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Just in case your father-in-law already knows what she looks like.
I wouldn't put it past this guy to have like, wait, never mind. Deneen wouldn't know anything about what I was about to say. Forget it.
Okay.
I have to role play her low intelligence here. She's like, I don't know. He's got magical stuff, but I mean, I'm assuming that Wisdom would be fine.
So primary objective, capture your father-in-law, alive, don't let him talk, teleport to tree.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law, you know what? If she's in the way, that's fine. I'm not going to go out of my way to murder her because for all I know, she could be operating on like... I'm not going to go out of my way to murder her because it would risk this falling through, essentially. And I want to keep my priorities straight here.
MIL death is happy bonus. Got it. All right. We need to figure out a plan of action for those little quickling fuckers. They always seem to be around when he's there. So
I can see them with my monocle.
I think
I can't like hide from them. And if I want to hit them, I've got to like really get ready for it.
Nice.
But that's why I got all these barbarians and caltrops. Yes, exactly. We went and got caltrops.
Oh, I already had some.
Okay, I went and got more after that.
Well, good. All the caltrops. More caltrops, the better.
And that's also the original reason I had all that oil. I mean, not the giant barrels of oil, but like extra oil. The previous time I used it, I was like, we'll just try all the things.
Hey, Deneen, does Eleven allow you to try and command people?
I have that. Yeah, I can try that, but I'm not like super good at it like some people might be, Haley. But yeah, I could do that. I can do all kinds of stuff that I don't usually do.
So maybe some key commands, if we feel like we might be able to get them, could be like stop or sleep, or because like if they're running really fast and we command them to stop, their inertia should actually send them crashing into a wall or something like that. So maybe we can hurt them that way, or sleep.
I also have a thing that I can do if I get it ready. that would protect. I could set it to like protect people from Fae, but just one person. It's protection from evil and good. It's
Why
just.
do I feel like I can.
It's
do
just
that?
one creature, but that's pretty good. Maybe, I don't know. Or I can just protect somebody so that it's harder to attack them in general. I've got like a couple of different things I can do.
Out of character, why can't you bump that up to a higher level for more people?
Because I'm a level 1 cleric.
No, but the spell in general doesn't have an at higher levels description, which makes me
That's
think.
true.
Because I have higher level spells, and I thought, well, maybe I could use it and get us, but it doesn't. It's just always one target.
Yeah.
Well, are we looking for just distractions to get this guy out of there, or I mean, we don't.
I'm just trying to figure out what would help us.
Yeah, because like his quicklings have kind of.
And I can summon insect plagues. I don't know if any of that.
His insect plagues might be helpful to help. The thing is, he's got these little zippy things called quicklings, and they've whooped our ass a couple times. So we've managed to kill a couple, but they're really hard to hit.
I could sort of like anti-bless them, 3 of them.
Sure.
But it'd probably be better if I blessed us.
Do I have Bane?
So, real quick point to make as well.
We have to
the monocle doesn't allow you to see them because they're not magically invisible.
Well, then what was it that the monocle was helping me with? Now I may just be remembering that wrong.
You were able to sense them when they got close to you.
Because of the blind sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. The monocle was when we went to the spiders. I forgot.
So they're
Thank you, Dave.
invisible things.
Well, they're just so fast
Okay, so they're
that you can like barely see them.
So they're just a little harder to hit. I mean, you can do it. I know we've killed a couple.
Oh, yeah,
I definitely shot one. And I killed it with one shot, so that means it's, I have no idea, but that worked. I don't know how strong they are or aren't, but at least I could kill one with one shot.
With spells like Bane, you'd have to look and see what the wording is. If you have to see it to target it, would be tough.
Yeah, it says that you can see within range.
You have to see them. Yeah. I'd be better off blessing you guys, I think.
Yeah. All right. And I've got hellish, I've got a couple things I can do to something that attacks me. So I might be able to get off some damage that way.
So if I could get that command spell ready, maybe I could use that to just tell him to surrender. And then that'll give us a round to like manacle him, maybe?
That's right. You can just say surrender.
And then
or sleep.
But don't give yourself away.
I would maybe say sleep, because that way he's unconscious and easier for us to deal with.
I'm not sure that would work. He's an elf.
That's a good point. You guys are tricksy.
Somebody try it on me. Haley, can you use command?
Hey, how about this? Faint. And I use command on her.
On me?
Yeah.
Oh! Okay, let's see. That's a wisdom save, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure I'll need to sleep like that.
And you'd also get advantage on the saving throw.
Just to faint as opposed to sleep?
Yeah, faint.
Command is a charm effect, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Right? And you're an elf, so...
I got a 9 and a 13.
Oh, you're out.
It didn't, but you could probably tell that I had advantage. Like I resisted it. I super resisted. And then I go,
I can prepare for it, but I don't have it at this moment.
And then 6 seconds later, I go, what the hell?
All right. It can work. Does it only last 6 seconds?
It's just a round, right?
Yeah, 1 round.
But the thing is, you're out. You're out.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's just 6 seconds. It's not like
learn it.
suggestion.
If we sleep, or when we sleep tonight, I can learn command. I don't have it right now.
You have to follow the command on your next turn. But that basically means you spend that turn following the command.
But he might be able to get in reactions before he has to.
It's better than nothing.
Oh my god, those dogs.
They were summoned by the chat.
I think if he's surrendering, that means that he can't fight us or do anything else. So I still think that's a good one.
I think that's the best idea.
So,
but it's not really clear if she actually means that or if she's just drunk babbling.
So after the planning session ends and Kenna goes downstairs, what does she get up to?
She's gonna pull out her lute. She's gonna play some body drinking songs. She's gonna maybe play some sad songs toward the end of the night when things start winding down a little bit. She's just gonna have a grand old time.
Okay, so when you guys wake up the next day, Kenna takes a point of lightning damage and is has 1 level of exhaustion as you are hungover.
Yep. I did not make good decisions.
It's not like Deneen realized how bad that stuff was. Sorry. I would have warned you.
Sorry, hashtag not sorry. So is that the plan? You guys are going to go scouting today?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had exhaustion before, so I'm looking up the rules.
You have disadvantage on
everything.
Ability checks and saves, I think.
You can just add it as a condition in D&D Beyond.
Unfortunately, I'm not using D&D Beyond.
Okay.
I have magical weapons
do it for you.
in there.
It's this disadvantage on skill checks.
Okay, cool.
So before we went to bed, I'll turn, because we're going to do the scouting during the day. Before we go to bed, I'm going to turn wisdom into a hawk.
Okay.
And then she can go scout. And I can watch through her eyes and narrate aloud everything I see when I send her over to this particular location.
Okay.
And I'm going to summon a rune. Does he have to be large? Or can I summon him as something smaller than he typically is?
I think a mastiff is medium.
Well, I know a mastiff is an option, but a mastiff won't be able to sneak places, or not the same way an avian. But maybe a mastiff is the right thing to do.
So, if you cast Fine Steed, you're gonna have one suite of options. If you cast Greater Fine Steed, you would have more options.
What's Greater Fine Steed?
It's that thing I was talking about for your other paladin.
It is like Fine Steed, but greater.
What's the level of it?
I want to say 4th, but that's going by memory.
All right, I'll look it up on D&D Beyond real quick.
But yeah, it would definitely open up different options to you. But I still think no matter what you summon is going to have to be medium or bigger. Only because it's for mounts.
So I want to make Wisdom's creature type specifically Fey. Because I'm hoping that means she won't get noticed as weird. As opposed to Celestial or Fiend.
True. But that being said, you do know that it is Fey that he's in trouble with, even though he employs Fey himself.
Let's see if
just putting it out there.
Let's see if Deneen is smart enough to figure that out. I'm gonna roll Arcana. Oh, she is smart enough to figure that out this time. So she'll make him a Celestial. Or her a Celestial.
Should have went Fiend. No one would have expected the Fiend.
I don't want to bother Kath. It would probably give Kath a headache if I brought a Fiend in here. Another Fiend, I mean.
So finding the compound is super easy. I mean, it is the older part of the city where the aristocrats and nobles are. The properties are spaced out a little bit further. When you find his, it is actually it is a walled compound. There are cold iron sconces spaced every 20 feet or so on the walls, and barely perceptible. There is a little bit of a mist that kind of hovers above the ground just a few inches. The walls themselves seem to be covered in some kind of ivy, which doesn't really make a lot of sense from, I would say, Denine's keen eye. I mean, that would probably facilitate climbing, not it wouldn't work very well for keeping people out. The room around the walls themselves, there's a good 15-20 feet at most places, so there's nothing close to the walls. There are 2 guards stationed out front. 2 burly looking humans, but I use the term human very loosely. They look kind of Neanderthal-ish. Maybe they got some ogre or some orc blood in them. It's hard to say. There is a main building, which is it's a 1-story affair. It's kind of reserved, and it looks like almost like the Summer Stars are slumming a bit compared to the opulence that they enjoyed in Rylar. It's a very large 1-story building, though, and then coming out from the one wall and from either side, probably like the east and north walls are hedgerow walls, essentially, creating a bit of a garden and courtyard area. They run almost like a square. It only broken by, there's like a servant's house on the far side, so or a guest house perhaps that's outlying. The interior of that garden area is pretty elaborate. There's a pond and gazebo. There is several bushes and trees inside the garden area. There is even in the daylight, your hawk can spot a faint glow coming from the inside of the gazebo. And that is what you can see from just the outside.
Huh. So I narrate all this while, and Wisdom's instructions are to go just fly and look around it and then fly away in a different direction and then fly back to me.
And then it's a good 30, 40 feet between the outer wall and the interior hedgerow wall or any of the structures.
Okay. So all these plants, considering we're talking about Fae stuff, I'm super suspicious automatically.
Your
like
crew
the ivy and stuff.
Your crew has definitely had some run-ins with plants in the past.
You did mention cold iron sconces.
Well, they're iron, so I'm just automatically assuming it's some kind of anti-Fae stuff because...
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So there's 2 guards out front.
That should be fairly easy to take care of.
I would presume so. But then we'd still have to get into the house, and that assumes he's in there. We probably want to make sure he's actually there if we're going to take him in the house. If it's nighttime, he's probably there. But I could watch the place and confirm that.
Do we have that kind of time?
Well, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, Kenna?
She's sneezing.
Oh, like hell, but I've had worse.
Okay, so would you be up for something if we decided to go for it?
I'll push through it. We'll be fine.
Well, are we really in a rush? Why can't we just take a day to observe and give ourselves that advantage?
We could. I mean, we want to make sure he's there.
Yeah.
It isn't as though any of us didn't tell our families we were leaving this time, and mine just assumes I'm going to be gone.
hopefully they won't worry.
Oh no, they'll worry, but they'd have worried if I told them. I'm a screw up. I told you this.
You're not a screw up. They don't think you're a screw up, but they know
you with my glass of pickle juice.
But yes, they know you're an adventurer. People worry. I know, believe me.
That said, I am not opposed to waiting if it makes us safer. I'm sure they would prefer that to us going into a dangerous situation without being fully prepared.
And then you'll be less hungover.
Oh, yes.
So should I, if we're scouting and figuring out what's going on, should I like have Wisdom do more scouting? Would that be good? Or should I just directly watch this place and see if he's coming in or out? Or like for a glance of him through the window or something. Like, how are we scouting and watching? If we do it in person, there's a risk somebody's going to recognize me.
I think checking the windows is probably a good idea. And then if you don't see anything that way, watch the door for a while.
Maybe watch the movement of who's coming in or out of the property or around it. See if there's any, there's the two obvious guards up front, but are there any individuals who are making a round every half hour?
This place is probably a fortress, just that we can't tell.
Especially after we kind of broke into the last house.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if there's like a sewer that goes right under the house.
Ooh.
Well, that would be convenient.
I mean, that was always a great way to get around in Ryler.
There has to be.
So if I'm going to have Wisdom go watch the place, she can, go here and there so that it's not super obvious she's just staring at the house, kill some pigeons, have a meal, watch for, sewer grates, all that kind of stuff.
So how many of you are kind of like watching the house? Who's on the stakeout?
Kath is not super close to the house, but she's in the area and she's trying to scope out like the second tier of people who might be coming or going.
I think rather than staking out, I'm going to go like talk to people around the town and see what I can find out in terms of like layout and like what's going on over there and in that particular compound.
You should probably disguise yourself or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put on my old lady outfit.
So I want to make sure I'm like in the same neighborhood as this house so that I can actually talk to Wisdom telepathically while she does this stuff. Like I'll find a little nook or cranny somewhere on a roof to like hide myself since I won't be able to see or hear, and hide very, very well. And then have Wisdom, she can then check in with me periodically while I do the ride along and see what she's seeing.
So Kenna, Goldridge is the fancy part of town where this house is. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe Calf should be like out trying to like get information from the people in the ports, because that's kind of her folks that she's got a little bit more commonality with. And then maybe if you want to focus on other parts of town,
that, or you could lean on being a paladin of the Beggar King and work the poor.
Okay, that's what Calf is up to.
So, Kath, give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to bless myself because this is important.
Ooh.
You probably want to use guidance.
I don't have guidance.
She doesn't have that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think bless is very specific for saving throws and attack rolls.
Okay, then never mind. Persuasion.
If you're here, I can cast it on you.
If Haley goes with you.
Oh, well, 26.
All right, then.
So.
All right, so you can gather 4 pieces of information that you think beggars and commoners might want to know. So ask me 4 questions.
Does Summerstar ever venture out into the city to conduct business himself?
It is very rare that he's seen leaving. It's not that he never leaves, but a month or 2 could go by without him ever leaving. So he definitely does not have a set routine that he follows as far as leaving.
How many people does he have working for him in the city?
Throughout the city, there are probably indirectly employed by him easily 50. Meaning that people employed by him have employees, so.
Okay. What are like some of the scarier rumors about him, or more common? Yeah, like what's the common rumor about him, and what's the scary rumor about him? Oh shoot, I only get 4. So yeah, just what's like the prevailing rumor about him?
All right, so I'm going to actually give you one of the more obscure rumors that has gone around, and it is one that the people that do tell you this are very hesitant to mention. He hosts a party monthly, and it said that when he hosts this party, all of his normal staff are actually dismissed, and the rumor is he brings in a fresh new staff for this one night, and they never leave. And it is always on the same night of the month.
What's the night of the month?
It is the night of the Fey Moon, when the moon is at its highest.
And it's a party for, I guess I'm not there. Never mind.
And it's hard, right? Because you're like, oh, we just gotta wait.
Are there guests?
Well, that would be a party. Yeah, I mean everything that the word party implies. Yes, for the nobility and his special guests. But the oddity of it is said that he, for that one night, his normal servants are dismissed, and he uses special staff that are never seen again.
So disposable staff. Okay.
Disposable or delicious?
Oh shit, that like put my last question right out of my head. What was the last thing I was gonna ask? Oh, is it known anyone in town that like he's afraid of, or that he hates, or that he's wary of? Is there some kind of like weakness or annoyance that's known about him, other than the fact that he's apparently doesn't leave his house very much?
He has a phobia of the sick.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, great. Kath is grateful, and she's generous with the coin, and she'll have bought like some foodstuffs or whatever before she goes out to give out as well as she's making the rounds. And then I will head back to the inn and wait to regroup.
So I imagine too, part of like plying the poor and common folk is probably like ministering the virtues of the Beggar King, in addition to handing out, food and drink and that kind of stuff.
Sure, so, like curing small illnesses or wounds or things like that, with her lay on hands or spells as she can. Monty is not Jiminy Christmas. Arun is now like a super shaggy wolfhound
Nice.
that's somehow rust colored instead of gray.
He's got
That happens to black cats if they spend too much time in the sun.
they
They
turn
turn
rust
into
colored.
wolfhounds?
Yes, yes, they do. They rust.
I've heard that. So, how are you getting information, Kenna?
I am doing my fortune teller outfit, so I'm gonna like set up somewhere in the general vicinity and like try and flag down people that look like they might work with the nobility in the city and like read their fortunes and try and get them to tell me things while I'm telling them things.
Okay, so make a disguise check at disadvantage.
Yep.
Oh man, I wish I could have helped her with this. I've got this guy.
Oh God. Oh God. That's so unfortunate. Because the first roll that I made was a 19.
Oh no.
Disguise. Oh right, that's tools.
Her brother looks like you. She's been here to pick up a lot as well. Every day. I think her brother looks like you.
13.
Me?
Okay, it's fine. It's a persona you take on a regular basis. So being hungover, you're able to
Whew.
kind of get it in place. You have to like focus a little extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a perform check.
Yes. Yes. This is my bread and butter.
And
Okay, that's not terrible.
Still has to be disadvantaged though, right?
19 still.
Okay, 19. All right, so you can ask 2 questions, and again, you're going to be able to kind of push this through the lens of the people you've been kind of going targeting. So the aristocrats and nobles.
Okay. Ladies, do we have suggestions?
So in Drellic, you actually found that really difficult to find aristocrats and nobility to buy into the fortune telling. But you did find at least one person you were able to apply.
Maybe how do you get into the good graces of Summerstar?
Oh yeah, there's a good one. Like how does one go about procuring an invitation into his house?
Okay, so throughout the chit chat with the different people you've managed to talk to, you apply them for questions about Summerstar and getting invited to one of these parties, maybe to hold a seance or tell some fortunes. And one is they are all invitation only, and they seem to be primarily with business contacts of the Summerstars.
And who are some of their prominent business contacts?
Ooh. Don't we already have that?
Do we?
I think you have a ledger or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like ages ago. I forgot about that. Okay, not that one then.
But one of the things you do learn is, at least 3 of those business contacts have been dealing with the Summerstars generationally. So,
all right,
from parent to heir for several generations.
I was gonna say that that ledger was from Rylor, right?
No, didn't we get something recent about their business contacts?
You did get something recent.
I can't remember what it was though.
Oh, was this last session?
No.
It was. I can't remember. But I could have sworn it was something in like the last session or 2.
It was within the last session or 2.
Yeah.
I also don't remember. I just remember you got a hold of it.
Yeah, because at one point we were like, well, we've got this whole list of business contacts. We could just wreck all their relationships. But I don't remember where I got it.
You got the shipping charts. And
it was the shipping charts, and it was that.
Can't remember where we got it. It's something recent though.
It is definitely recent.
but I can't remember how we got it.
Didn't Vance get it for us?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Vance
We
did.
made
Yeah, because he gave it to you, and Danina was like, "Oh, look, it has a picture of a boat," and then she handed it to Kath, and she's
Right.
like,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Shipping lanes
Yeah.
and trade routes, but I didn't put his name down for it.
Right. So we've got that much at least.
Okay, so but these are generational contacts. These are people that they've been working with long term. That's interesting.
Well, and it also speaks to his age as well. It
Mhm.
you know, the way they talk almost in like reverent tones, and even slightly beyond what you would expect for a elf's life expectancy.
Even Cyrene was commenting on that, how he's unusually long lived for an elf, even.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because of this dark deal.
All right, well, that's what I got then.
So, what is the passive perception check for wisdom?
I have asked this.
As a hawk,
Yes.
passive perception is 14, but she also has advantage on perception checks that rely on sight.
So every once in a while, one of the things that you see through the eyes of wisdom is just the slightest bit of dust kick up on the top of the wall.
Of the wall of the Summerstar place?
Yes. And
"Oh,
it seems to happen at a regular interval.
So there's quicklings patrolling.
or invisible people."
It's those fast little things. I'm telling you.
I gotta agree with Deneen here.
Deneen is filled with rage in her little hiding spot. But since she's telepathically talking to Wisdom, she's like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just don't go near that wall."
You feel your feathers ruffle
Yes, they do.
as Deneen's emotions filter through the link back to wisdom.
Definitely. So, yeah. Those little bastards. We're going to get them somehow. Okay.
And also, Kath, you do learn there's definitely sewers beneath of Drellic, as there is every major city, including which would go under the wealthy portion of the city as well. Sometimes the beggars will set up nets, beneath some of the wealthier residents in hopes that something comes through of value.
Underneath?
Yep. So this is, I imagine this takes pretty much all of the day. The sun is going down.
What about Haley?
Hallie, what do you want to do throughout the day?
Yeah, I was watching the grounds, or staying. I was just trying to scout it out too, because I don't want to get discovered by anybody either. So I can't really go in. I don't really want to ask questions. She's not really exactly a super sleuth, but she can still keep an eye on things and see if there's any change of guard or anything like that.
So Hallie's kind of naive and leaning into it, and
yeah, definitely on the outskirts. Yeah, she really doesn't have a skill set for this at all. But anything to help her friends, damn it.
Nice. So
very sweet.
The sun is going down, and kind of your head is finally starting to clear a little.
All right.
Hey, Dave. Before Kath returns back to the hotel, she's gonna run by Galan's tower in the Gold Ridge.
Okay. So you cap off your day heading over to Galan's tower, and you're before Galan's tower. Before you is it's actually one of the more showy buildings in in Drellic because it is a circular tower, but it actually looks like a spiral, almost like a unicorn's horn or such. Ending in a pointy spire at the top. Just before it gets to the spire, there's actually like an open access roof that you can see. So it's open on four sides. So the spire kind of makes like columns, so you can kind of see through it at the very top. I mean, it's like 60 feet in the air, so it's not like you can see a lot. But as you're approaching, it's noticeable that you can see through.
So like a cupola at the top.
Yeah.
Are there posted hours of does it look like it's a business that you're allowed to approach, or does this look like a secure private home?
There is, just kind of like a hedgerow outside that encircles the building. It's not on a huge plot of land like some of the others. There is, there's a walkway up to the door. And, there's the door itself is kind of like, it's an enclave kind of carved out. Set of small double doors with stained glass in them. And there's in each door, there's its own panes of stained glass, and it's a rearing unicorns facing each other.
Okay.
And there is also beneath those, there is two knockers and kind of like the door handles, and it's actually a horse's head that comes out from it, and the mouth is holding the knocker, but then it has the horn like a unicorn. So seems to be a theme.
Kath likes knockers. I knock.
Sorry. Oh, okay, Lord.
So
I'm mature.
After several moments of you playing with the knockers, the door is open.
Gently, with proper respect, but effectively.
Inwardly, and a small, very small, dark-skinned woman who is wearing her hair up upon the top of her head. She's got brown doe-like eyes. You at first glance, you would think she would be of halfling descent, but closer inspection, she does appear to be human. Just very slight in build. And she looks up at you. What can I do for you, mistress?
Good evening. I have heard that this is the residence of a mage by the name of Gelon. Is that correct?
This is the residence of Gelon.
I was wondering, does he have any services or potions or magical items for purchase? Can he be contracted for work?
It has been known for Gelon to take on such endeavors, and she kind of like taps one of her feet, and she's wearing one of those shoes with the curly.
Little elf shoes.
Yeah, kind of, and her hands seem to swim in the sleeves of her robe. What is it you need done?
I'm looking for someone who could perform a polymorph spell, a long-lasting, permanent polymorph spell, or perhaps a scroll of polymorph or reincarnate or something like that.
Reincarnate? You'd have to be dead.
That's been known to happen.
I see. And let me invite you in instead of talking at the doorway here. Would you mind leaving that there? And she kind of like nods at your weapon.
No boy.
Oh, Pigpen? And she looks and it goes like, there's another little a thing of dust. She's like, I can wrap him up. I can wrap him up, and she'll pull out a long scarf and wrap his head so it's not quite so dusty.
Well, that's fine. And she kind of invites you in. There's like an umbrella stand, like in the corner. She's like, but can you still leave it there? It's not necessary here. You're
Sure.
a guest.
Sure. Personally, out of character, I think this is the most horrible idea ever, but Kath is very excited about where she is, so she does it anyways.
She hasn't had a lot of leads. It's completely understandable.
Yeah.
She leads you through the foyer into a side chamber that's clearly like a sitting area, and there is a small table. There's books all around. There's 2 overstuffed chairs next to a fireplace, although you don't really see where the smoke would go. On the table is sitting an ornate teapot, along with 2 teacups, and a bowl of sugar cubes. Would you have a seat?
Thank you. Yes.
And she begins pouring tea for 2. So why do you seek such powerful magics?
I would like to be returned to my original state.
Oh,
or something closer to it than as I currently am now.
How did you come to be? Like, how did you become as you are now? What were you before?
I was a gnome before. I was killed and I was reincarnated by a druid.
I see. Well, how did you die?
A few minutes before my death are kind of difficult to remember, but I believe a long and sharp object, maybe a cannonball, was involved. I don't know. It was a very big fight.
A cannonball and a long and sharp object. Sounds dreadful.
We were... I was working on a ship that had offered passage to a group who, unbeknownst to us, had enemies shortly behind them. The enemies caught up, attacked the group and everyone on the ship that was transporting them, and that's how my death came about.
Well, sorry to hear that. I'm glad you got better.
I'm getting better. So yes. So yes, I mean, it's good to be alive, but I would very much like, if possible, to be myself as well.
How do you know this isn't now yourself?
Let me rephrase that. I believe that the self is an essential and intangible essence that is carried in whatever shell you inhabit, that can be influenced by the shell without a doubt, certainly framed and cultured by it. And this tieflings definitely have some advantages, but I would prefer to have the advantages I was born with.
How do you know fate hasn't moved and intervened in the ways that it has to make you as you are? Perhaps you still have things to do.
That could be possible. Being on this path for searching myself has certainly led me to gain some not insignificant abilities in other realms. But I don't think that being returned to my first physical state would inhibit me from continuing whatever that work is.
The thing that you ask, Golan can do, but it is powerful magic, expensive magic. There's always a price for such things.
Sure, that's absolutely expected. I'm sure, I'm not unfamiliar with how expensive components can be, and more powerful spells typically have more expensive components. That's only logical.
She slides her hands across the table to yours.
Mm-hmm.
I am not talking about gold. Everything we do, every choice, every decision we make, there is a cost, there's a price. And what you ask for is a lot, and you've already been given much. But you choose to ask for even more.
But I give quite a lot too. I am not in debt to the cosmos. Whatever my faults are, I work very hard to make sure that I am square with the fates and with my patron. And she pulls out her book and starts flipping through it. I keep a very detailed account. Don't look at the page from yesterday. You won't get a good impression of me. But I promise that throughout the rest,
Interesting. You have quite the tale to tell. No pun intended. I think Golan will help you with your problem, with your dilemma. Come back next year.
Any particular month or season?
At this time next year, return.
All right.
Do tomorrow next year. A year and a day is like the big thing.
Well, thank you very much for your time and your attention. This has been the first significant hope I've had, and if I have to wait for a year, that is a thing that I am most willing to do. And I'm sorry, this was incredibly rude of me. I never actually caught your name.
That's true. I've never actually thrown it. She extends her tiny hand towards you. I am Golan.
Aha!
Kath shakes it and says, "It has been a very unique pleasure."
In 1 year's time, we will see where the scales rest.
I look forward to meeting you again.
And she sees you to the door.
So I walk out and I walk out of sight, and I have like about a 30-second fit that's a combination between and like a happy skip, because very maddening but hope. So yeah, I get the heebie-jeebies worked out of me for a little bit, and then I head back to the inn.
So Kath arrives back at the inn a little bit later than the rest of you.
Oh, there you are.
And I'm sober.
I may have been wondering about that. I may have been wondering. So now that we're all here, so do we all trade information, essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we get each other caught up.
Do you mention your visit to the Wizard Tower?
Oh, hell no. I leave that part out.
Well, this all sounds great. What do we do with it?
So real quick, Jen, remind me, what did you learn about the sewers?
That there was something about how the homeless people will go under there and like set out nets in the rich districts in case something falls down the sewer gratings, which means you can get around down there. I don't remember anything specific about whether you can get under their place, but there was that much at least.
I wonder, okay, so we all think that they're like sacrificing these people, right? That are the staff, these one-time staffs that are hired for these parties. I wonder if they've ever caught like a foot or, a hand or a liver or something.
In the sewer?
Yeah, in the nets.
Wouldn't that have come up in your rumors when you were rumor mongering?
If
Your
they
body parts coming out of the estate?
If they dared to mention it, I mean, they looked a little uneasy admitting as much as they did. It's only my very great charm that, I think won me this information.
Whatever is happening to those people, I think we can safely assume it's something bad. Yes. Does that help? Other than justifying what we're doing.
So,
I mean, knowing the man.
Yeah.
I don't know that we want... at first I was like, well, maybe we should just pose as these one-time hire servants, but I don't know that I want to have a showdown when he's surrounded by people who might also be partaking in like super evil magic.
And we probably can't walk in as servants with all our weapons and all our armor, and
right.
That's probably not gonna, yeah.
So, and I don't know if it's best, like, how do we time this against the party though? Because like, do we think the party is a ritual that gives him power? So do we want to try and do it like as far away from the ritual as can be? Or what is that even, Kenna, have you ever heard anything about like this? This is pretty...
Like the Fey moon. And that gazebo is glowing and it's not even time for the party. I don't know what that's about.
That's definitely going to be worth checking out.
Maybe we can get an invite somehow.
Oh, that's going to be difficult.
Steal an invite somehow.
Or steal an invite somehow. Oh, Haley. Haley.
I know, but hey.
I hug you. One of us.
No, she's truly a member of the Scarlet Sisterhood.
Oh, she brings a tear to my eye. So
they must get mailed out, or they get
delivered
out.
Yeah, but it's all people he's got long-standing business relationships with. If it didn't show, they'd notice. We don't even know if there are invitations.
No. So those you said that these got 3 contacts that for generations they've been working with them. I wonder if they'd be a little bit easier to investigate.
I only have to look at one, and I'll be able to forge one for us.
If there's paper invitations, yeah.
Paper invitations, yes.
Well, when's the party? When does this happen?
The night of the Fey moon.
So when's that from now?
I get out my calendar, and then I look at the dungeon master.
15 days.
Man.
There's not a lot of time.
Don't you think that would be like the peak of his power or something, though?
Unless he's specifically doing this to put off something coming to get him. It would certainly be the peak of the Fae's power.
Yeah, but he's got Fae working for him. The quicklings that are patrolling the top of his wall.
That could be part of the deal. And he could be sacrificing people to keep the collection at bay.
Anyone with Arcana, you can make a check.
Ooh. Am I still at disadvantage?
No.
Finally
14.
over it.
Have Arcana at all.
20.
Woo, Cap.
Okay. So, with a 14, you can deduce that the day itself is probably significant for ritual. With a 20, you deduce that as well as it could be possible, like just before the ritual takes place, could possibly be a waning of power. Just after could be a renewing of power. Well, I mean, it's probably for a renewing of power. So just after he could be at the peak of his power.
Okay. That makes sense. So maybe, I'll share that. So, and +2, maybe just before, with people coming in, he might have more general bustle around the house.
Like preparation for the party?
Yeah,
'Cause we can't-
deliveries and things.
So we don't want to overlap with the party because then he could like seize this power and then we'd be screwed.
Yeah, but maybe like a couple of days before leading up to it, or a day or two before.
And we still have enough days to like find out, like, does he get deliveries? Could we become delivery people? How would that work?
You can just keep ordering him more wine, sunshine.
Well, you can only assume if he's having some kind of party that there would be an uptick of activity. That
Right.
seems fairly accurate. Probably needing things to be delivered, things that would be brought in fresh.
I personally am very in favor of the idea of crashing this party and stopping his ritual before it happens because it's quite thematic and I like drama. But
Well,
Not me too.
I think maybe we should try and get him not the day of the party, but before.
No. Like let's deliver something the day before.
But we could embarrass him in front of all of his guests.
No.
No, out of
The
character,
guests-
I know this is a bad idea,
Okay.
but Kenna is
I know.
a bard.
Yeah. His guests that could be
That's
backup.
what you want to do. You
His
just want to make
guests
an
that might be
embarrassment out of
benefiting from this and will be very angry about us trying to upset them. Let's
Yeah, but then we could take them out too.
All right. Do you remember how we almost died the past couple times? We went up against just him.
How many times have we almost died, Kath? And we never actually have.
a cleric. man.
Okay, speak for yourself.
Everybody we
Also, Haley and I can fix that.
everybody we've murdered up until we murdered them almost died previously. So let's not assume that means it's not going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't know if I have this right, but if I do, I would like to do my once per annum hard veto.
Adam suggests that we should all climb into the cake and pop out when they go to cut it.
I like it.
Worst strippers ever.
All right.
Yeah, with
Kath has
Kath's,
used her veto. I will stop pressing this button now.
with Kath's decks, that just would never be a good idea. Her tail would be poking out the back of the cake.
Make it a dragon cake. Put like dragon scales on your tail. Pretend like it's part of the whole thing.
Well, we could do a delivery, like a wagon of stuff, and then stow our equipment underneath the wagon bed so it's not obvious.
have enough money to put together something that would look legitimately fancy and get it delivered.
And we absolutely have enough money to do that.
And
You're
we're one
so
teleport away from literally all our money.
You're so adorable, Haley.
By the way, we're rich-ish. And if we're not rich enough, I can make us rich enough if in a pinch.
And cake does not cost that much.
But
Well, actually, I recently, with my fiance, ordered a wedding cake, so I know how much cake costs.
throw in
Oh,
a
man.
giant Trojan horse and we'll just roll it into this place.
Excuse me.
That's right. Arun can pull the cart. It'll work.
I can make him like a super beautiful horse.
Not that he's not super beautiful already. I love you, baby. But yeah, pretty stallion.
I'm going to go under the assumption that you guys are high enough level that you could probably find out what's been delivered in the past with a little bit of rooting around. I'm not even going to make you guys roll.
Since
So-
we have the list of business contacts, at least some of them are catering this party,
Right.
and we have enough days to figure that out. So
Yeah.
I like that, Dave. Yes, sounds great.
You guys kind of like start rooting around. And one of the things you realize is, the day before, up to the day before, the week before, essentially, there is a flurry of activity, of traffic coming in and out. The day of, there is nothing until that evening, when the guests begin arriving. And oddly enough, though, you never actually hear anything about the servants that are brought in.
Like, so we haven't heard anything more about that mysterious rumor.
Like while you're gathering together all this other information and putting together the pieces, you would just assume that you would be like, oh, and they hire staff from here when they use outside, or they've done this, but you don't hear any of that.
No complicit temp agencies.
It's
so,
slightly.
So maybe the whole thing about how they bring in special staff is just what their regular staff believe. Maybe they don't bring in special staff at all. And they just don't want their regulars there finding out what they're doing.
Or they're doing a very good job covering up what they're doing so they can get extra people in and not have a paper trail.
Or they hire like out-of-towners or whatever.
What if they have like a supply of refugees from Rylor that they're just, like keeping imprisoned, and like every month they just like pluck a supply from it?
If they're going to hire, if they are hiring people, they're not going to like go to an agency for it, because then they notice that people never reappeared.
Well, sure, but they might not be hiring people. They might say that they're bringing in staff, but it's really just prisoners that they're sacrificing.
We don't even know. And when this guy is gone, those people will be all safe, whoever they are. So we could probably figure out like some likely shipment. Have we seen any? If we watch the first couple shipments that are arriving before the party, do we see like, are they searching these wagons or anything?
They do a preliminary search for, for most of them. They kind of look at the bill of goods, and in some cases you can see that they just know the drivers,
right,
and wave them through.
Okay, so if they don't know us. Oh, but we could disguise as one of them.
Yeah, disguise Haley to look like one of their drivers or something.
Yeah, right. So what we need to do is, because we know what kind of stuff is getting delivered and by whom, we just deliver one of those shipments before it actually arrives.
So we just like knock out the people delivering it, take their place, stow our weapons underneath the cart, and go in?
Honestly, that sounds like a good plan to me.
Okay.
I mean, we don't, obviously, I'm assuming that these people are relatively innocent, even though they're business contacts of the Summer Stars. We don't necessarily want to murder them, but we can tie them up somewhere. Some nice warehouse where shouting won't be obvious, maybe. And then by the time that gets discovered, we'll hopefully already be in there.
So you guys are able to do that easy enough. You grab somebody, you knock them out.
These poor innocent commoners.
So how do you guys want to like secret yourself?
But before we knock them out, we tell them it is in your best interest to not draw your attention to yourselves right away. But just to be on the safe side, we are going to knock you out. But don't forget, we also know where you live and where you work. And I'm sure you want to keep working there. So maybe don't make a big deal out of this right away. But in a couple hours...
Or just give them some money.
Yeah, we could. But if they're found with money, that could actually work against them.
Oh, I know. Dead drop. We'll put the money in this brick over here, and then you can come collect it when it's safe.
Come get it later. But do not raise the alarm for a couple of hours. Just tell everybody you were unconscious for a couple of hours.
Because you will be.
They're super agreeable to whatever you say at this point.
Okay,
because you guys have sharp, pointy.
Yeah,
things.
we're gonna intimidate them into. So now, do we really need to knock them out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And tie them up.
Okay.
And gag them.
No offense, guys, but we are going to
look better on you anyway.
Yeah, it's important that you be injured. Even though we did injure you a little bit capturing you, it's important that you be injured just for your own protection so that you can say you resisted us.
You won't get fired.
Right. It's not your fault. We're big, bad, evil people.
And Haley, the one bead you did pluck off did turn to dust at dawn.
Son of a bitch. Oh, that was my bead of healing.
Do they grow back?
I only have so much fucking healing, it's ridiculous.
It did not come back as of yet.
All right, so the summons and the blessings still good. Okay.
At least it didn't explode.
It did not explode.
That's the important thing. Okay, so we take out this team, intimidate them into oblivion, intimidate, bribe, and knock them out, and then we take their shipment.
Okay, so how are you guys secreting yourselves in the wagon, and are you going with you disguise Ellie as the driver?
Haley's going to be disguised as the driver, and we'll all be
maybe Kath should just be in a giant burlap sack.
Speak for yourselves. I'm invisible.
How?
I can make you invisible too if you want.
That's probably the way to go. Probably.
Okay. Well, then that's what we're going to do. I will cast invisibility at level 4.
All right.
I think that's the level it needs to be for that.
So Haley has the magical disguise. Deneen has the regular disguise, and she will try to help Haley be deceptive.
Okay, because she's not.
Or we could do it the other way around. You get a random disguise. I be the driver because I'm pretty deceptive.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe Deneen. Let's get a high charisma deception person.
Yeah, let's do that. Deneen doesn't use it often, but it's a thing she can do.
And Deneen actually knows details about Summerstar. So if there's some kind of random question or something like that.
Sure. We get the driver's name and stuff before we knock them out.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. I guess that's what we're doing next time.
So God, are you gonna kill it? Are you gonna kick off on us, Dave? Seriously, right now?
Oh, it's 9.
It's after 9.
2 hours talking.
It is slightly after 9.
We did need a lot. We needed the planning, though.
So we are going to start next session with a deception check at the gate.
I can't resist. I want to roll it now.
And we will see what happens next week after Gen Con. So as always, thanks for playing, ladies, and thanks everyone for watching the Scarlet Sisterhood. Greatly appreciate it. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.